What's up, guys? How y'all doing? This is D Durrell with D Durrell the Rebirth, and also simulcasting with D Durrell Life Solutions. Want to have a discussion with you today. I'm actually out in the field as usual. I'm working the community, excuse me, in the Houston area. And so I just want to have a discussion. I'm going to have a quick discussion with you all because I do have a session coming up in about 40 minutes. And so I want to talk about with each and every one of you that's watching, why is Black YouTube so toxic? This is a toxic space. It seems like each and every year, the space gets even more and more toxic. I want to tackle that issue today. I want to discuss why it's that way. It continues, in my opinion, it's like everything is getting worse, and worse. It's not getting better. You're constantly seeing the same shit over and over, just in different cycles. You're seeing situations where people are engaging in the same stuff periodically every goddamn year. You're seeing people talking about the same stuff. You're seeing all this goddamn doxing going on. One of the first things I want to talk about as far as what makes Black YouTube so toxic, particularly the manosphere, is that the fact that I think the manosphere, and I'm going to say whether it's pro-Black community, because I'm also in the pro-Black community that supports Umar Johnson and so forth, we allow too many non-Black people to come in our space. I'm going to repeat that. And I don't care how that will be looked upon by other people, but we allow too many non-Black people to come in our space. We have allowed too many non-ADOS to talk about ADOS issues. What's up, Dr. Bombay? What's up, a Yale male Israelite? What's up, Mommy? How you doing? Appreciate you all for coming in. Guys, let's get the likes up. We're going to have a discussion. I want to talk about the fact that we have too many non-Black people coming in here. They hopping on panels. Now, a Yale male Israelite talked about Black YouTube is toxic because of the competition for monetization, which I do agree. There is an issue of the fact that people understand that Black YouTube has only so much money and everybody trying to get a piece of the pie. But my question is, why can't everybody get a piece of the goddamn pie? What's up, Love Wisdom? She said, good afternoon, everyone. Wear my silk shirt at D. Durrell. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna wear it on a certain occasion. I'm gonna when I'm doing business one day where it's appropriate, I may wear maybe be dressed up a little bit, have my little shades on and looking all good and everything. I'll do that for you. So I also love Wisdom. I enjoyed doing the role play with you the other day also on Faith's channel. For you all, you can check that out on the Faith Jones channel. So what's up, Tiffany? Tiffany Phillips, she said, hey, oh, I'm loving that pic, Tiffany. Nice pic. She said, hey, D, YouTube is toxic, period. The mukbangers, the makeup community, the animal community, the family bloggers, the gamers, I could go on. Oh, wow. I didn't know the makeup community was toxic. I may have to dig into that a little bit. I had no idea about the makeup community or the animal community and bloggers and so forth. I know about the gamers a little bit because I have friends who are on YouTube who are gamers, and they've talked about a lot of toxic stuff going on in that space. So I want to look at the fact that, again, let me get back to this. We have a lot of people who are non-black in this space who are talking a lot of shit and they're doing a lot of doxing. And I have a fellow YouTuber right now going through it right now because of a non-black male YouTuber going around doing doxing and dumb shit. Not just him, it's other people. I was on a panel maybe 2 weeks ago where there were two non-black people of Arabic and I think white descent going against things that are highly valued by black people in our community. When you see these people jump on a panel and they say stuff about the anti-reparations or white supremacy don't exist, racism don't exist, that's problematic. When you see people coming in here who never stepped foot in America, but they have all of the discussion and all the answers and trying to tell us how we're supposed to behave, that is problematic. When you have individuals telling me what I should do in my community, and you don't know shit about my community, you don't know anything about us. What's up, Rollo? And yes, mommy, black people allow them to, and that's the issue. Because of the fact of black people being so open to everybody that don't like you, because they don't. Let's be honest. What's up, Exposed to Manosphere? We are so open-minded. We're so inclusive. We're so inclusive that we allow people that mean us no good to come in and have a voice. Let me pose a question to you all. Could you go into their community? Could I, as a black American, go into an Arabic community and tell them, guys, you got it all wrong. Your women are masculine. You should put her in her place. Your men are lazy. You should be more entrepreneur. You should seek more education. Okay? You should have less children. You should be more into this and more into that. But they're coming in here doing that. You have all of these foreigners. You have British, black avatar, British, black mixed avatar who has propelled a YouTube career off of incel-like dusty black men that are American. Facts. Dr. Bombay said the doxing is the worst part of it. I have seen people cause folks to lose revenue, jobs, reputation because they don't agree with someone's position. Exactly. Look what happened to me. The anti-fraud warriors tried to ruin my practice. You know, the same people who went about trying to get me taken off of Open Path website directory. The same people who contacted the Board of Examiners for counselors, professional counselors in the state of Texas. And so I had to file back on those same people just for disagreements. Renaissance Man said that doesn't just apply to other communities. The black community will let other black people who in the community go unchecked too. Yes. I have issues with that too in regards to those that are non-ADOS. Now, as far as us dealing with our own, we have to deal with people in our own group differently than those who are not in our group. That's no different than any other group of people. Chinese do not deal with Chinese the same way that they would deal with Japanese, the same way they would deal with Cambodians and or Vietnamese. Interculturally, they deal differently. Expose the Manosphere says, I don't say anything controversial, which is why I don't care that people know who I am. Although you don't say anything controversial, because it's anti-Manosphere, they're going to view you as being controversial no matter what. That's just the fact. Angry Man Rap, she says, an African in New York City just killed his mother because she told him to get a job. Right. But you won't hear any Nigerians talking about that. You won't hear any Senegalese talking about that. You won't hear any body from the Sierra Leone or Ghanaian talking about that. But if it would have been an African American in New York City killing his mother because she told him to get a job, you'd hear them saying, "Oh, see that lazy African American, that Akata." You see the differences? There's a difference. They're quick to tell us, but they don't show that same. They don't put the same microscope for their own people. Dr. Bombay says, we have people who claim that they are not black and have launched entire campaigns against those in our communities who are here putting in the work. Exposed the Manosphere said, I should have said I'm not controversial to mainstream audience. My professors know about my written works. And I agree with that. What's up, Chaos Rain? Mami says, it's difficult for me because I'm African American, Egyptian, and of course African. I can't separate it. Okay? So you come from parentage where one of your parents is Egyptian. Now, is your parent an Arab or are they Africans? There are Africans that live in the southern part of Egypt. There are black Egyptians. They're the original inhabitants of that country. So it's a high level of toxicity that is going on right now. And I don't like the fact that people are doing things to harm people long term as far as their careers and their reputation. That can exceed anything that they're doing on YouTube. Let's look at myself as far as me being on YouTube. I mean, I have a small channel. Okay, my channel right now, with the channel I had, the D-Derail channel was up and coming and was getting ready to really, grow. Because I mean, I had over 4,000, but I was getting bigger and bigger. I could have. I was on a pace probably by the end of this year. I probably would have had over 10,000 subs or more, or even more. Okay. What's up, TCTV? You said the Godfather. Yeah, man. I'm appreciate that. Okay. But we have to understand, man, that these guys come in here and they jump on these panels. They're doxing people. They're putting out information that is nobody's business. And that's the reason why I stated my support for O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'm gonna support him no matter what, because the brother has done things for me. I know the brother. I've been knowing O'Shea for 4 years. I've been talking to him on and off for the last 2 years, almost a year, at least a year and a half. So I know the brother. There are other people that I have talked to that have been unfairly doxxed. But I'm very wary of the fact that we are so open to allow other people to come in our space that mean us no good. And it's time to start cleaning house. It's time to start cleaning house. Renaissance Man says the manosphere will always be toxic because there are no barriers to entry. Anybody can come and go in the spaces without any background check. That is true. And to be honest with you, a lot of men in the manosphere are anti-black. They're anti-black community. There are sectors in the manosphere, such as SYSBM, Passport Brothers, Divestment, that don't want black men dating, or actually attempt to encourage black men to stop dating and putting up with black women. Now I know that sounds silly as hell, but these are some of the most toxic people, period. These are the same people who go across seas dating these dirty feet foreign women and sending them money because they want to control somebody. Because they are so insecure about their masculinity that they'll go around to Honduras and all these different places and date these filthy, dirty, uncultured, because they think they have so much culture, but they don't. Number one, how can you as an outsider effectively measure the chastity of another woman or the effectiveness of her culture when you as an outsider don't know full scale and understand the nature of their culture and why it is what it is? There's a lot of room for misinterpretation of someone else's culture. African Americans, we're subject to misinterpretation of culture all the time. That's why we are so stereotyped. People misinterpret us all the time. All the time. What's up, Faith? How you doing, sis? Angry Man Rap, she said, got a Caucasian Hispanic in the space telling black people how they should feel about race just because they like the women he gets. Now, I'm going to say this. I want you all to check out a video. Mr. Research, check out Mr. Research. Mr. Research posted a video of a girl named what is her name? Courtney something. It was Courtney. And Courtney was talking to a white man who just happened to be married and have kids by a black woman. Now, in this conversation, this white man, basically who has mixed children, went out of her way to talk about, to actually talk about how racism doesn't really exist and that black people need to quit blaming white people for stuff, for their issues. I have a black wife and I believe that love is there and, love is love and all this other different nonsense. This is a white man. And then this ignorant ass Courtney Fluker, or whatever the hell her name was. I think her name is Courtney Fluker, was sit there, yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, right. And then what pissed me off about Courtney went along with everything this white man was saying to the fact that she tried to talk about the dysfunction of black people in black well, what not necessarily was a black institution, but it was a majority black educational institution, and said that black people are also dysfunctional in historically black colleges and universities. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Courtney sounds country and illiterate as hell, and Courtney does not sound college educated. Courtney probably went to a low-level community college because that's what she sounded like. I'm sorry. Her language was very low level. Her speech patterns were very elementary and country. Just saying what it was. Now, she went around just agreeing with everything this white man was saying. It was literally literally embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. I didn't want to listen to it anymore. She basically was listening to a white man tell other black people what they're doing was so wrong. And he had all the answers. But at the same time, you're sitting there, allowing this man to discredit 400 plus years of things that black people have suffered from an institutional perspective, social, criminal justice, healthcare, and so on. But not only that, let's look at the white guy with the intelligence testing, in which he went around on Manosphere 3.0, telling them that black women don't want to date black men because they're not intelligent. And he took one bullshit study, to show that black men don't score high on an intelligence test. And that means that that's the reason black women don't want black men. And how dumb and stupid for these Negroes just allowing this man to get on here and be toxic. This man don't even understand how to read research. He was a white supremacist that took a one research study to give a tremendous conclusion, draw a basically faulty conclusion of a whole group of people. And these Negroes sat there and entertained that like dumbasses. None of them understood how to assess, how to implement or facilitate an intelligence test. They don't know how to measure it. They don't know how to write a report on it or anything. But you're sitting there having discussions. It's toxic. It seems like these quote unquote guys, every time they get around people of other races, it's like they lose their damn mind. I'm like, these are the kind of people that you see in a white business that tend to brown nose to get points and so forth. The same people.
Like they're easy targets.
Now, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this discussion of what I'm talking about between Courtney and this white guy. I want you to listen to this.
They're like, so motherfuckers are always trying to rob her. Like, at the end of the day, like during that time, like I beat her ass. She fucked dope boys. Like she went and started stripping. She started hooking. Like we did all the worst things that you can do to another person in a relationship. We did. Oh, look at this. Hey, we got a guest, Smooth. This is gonna be fun.
Now let me stop. Did you just hear that? This white boy just talked about how he beat the shit out of his black girlfriend because stripping, messing with dope boys, and all of this stuff. Okay? You just listen to that. This man just stated that. Now let me continue.
All right. Oh shit. How you doing? I'm doing good. The actress. Oh, she been cammed up, yo.
I wanna talk.
Yo, I just remember Savage. This is
okay. Let me turn this off. Okay, hold up for a second. I got the background, and I want to say this to you. I don't have anything against you, son. But what you were saying was basically some things about I shouldn't talk about black men. As a black woman, I raise, give birth to, and I can talk about anything that comes out of my womb. Now, my thing is, you know, black men don't really like white men like that, right? And the first thing when something go wrong, the first thing they blame is a white man. So I want to know is why.
Let me stop there. You hear the ignorance? When something goes wrong, the first thing they blame is a white man. Are you serious? This is a black woman saying this. Basically saying that black men are not accountable for their own actions. And she's basically telling another white man that just talked about how he beat the hell out of his black woman for messing with other men, messing with dope boys, all of the stereotypical stuff. And she up here having a discussion with him about this, and then turn around trying to shit on black men. And saying as if we blame white men for everything that goes wrong with us. Let me continue.
Would you sit over there and defend all them black men and Jessica S. check when y'all can't even keep white girls in check, and they hop on every black dick they see? So y'all got the same problem that we have as black women, and you don't even realize it, right?
No, I do. Okay, so fun fact: my son's mixed, so I have a black son.
Okay.
Got a black son.
I wasn't saying that you can't talk about black men how you want. My statement was saying that you were talking shit about black men, so we were talking shit to you.
Right.
So you can say whatever you want about.
You want to know why? Let me tell you how they got started, sir. And you sound like a real nice guy. Now that I feel
this dumbass just told this man who just talked about beating a black woman ass, you sound like a real nice guy. And Faith, if you listening, she sounds like KK because he did mention she came from B1. That's what it actually sounds like. It sounds like KK. But I may be wrong, but that's what she sounds like.
A nice guy. The problem that really happened with that is I have a lot of experience with the manosphere. Most of those guys that were on Just the S thing was in the manosphere. I've already had bad experiences with them, and I already have said some things that they shouldn't be saying. They have gone out their way to publicly embarrass and humiliate black women. There have been times when black women have been sitting over there in their own platforms, minding their own business, ain't talking about black men, don't care about black men. And it's black women that I see out in public now when I go from state to state. They with other races of men. It's growing now. They with other races of men. They don't even want to be
Hispanic women. Pretty much any woman is the type of woman for me. All right. But the issue with it is most black women that I've come across like to be mouthy, and they like to be unruly, and they like to have an attitude. And
Right.
I find that to be unattractive in any female.
Right.
Now listen to that. She sat there and took this shit from another person outside of our group to tell her what now notice, she said she had issues with the manosphere, which have said similar things what he just said as far as him dating women, and of all the women, black women are mouthy, unruly, this and that. If I have anytime any other black man would have said that, she would have been yelling, arguing, cursing, saying all kind of stuff, interrupting. This white man says this, she basically gonna say, yeah, right. Gonna sit there and literally agree. This white man who has he said he has a mixed child, and he said she's black, doesn't think highly of black women, nor does he think highly of black women or black men, obvious. But you allow these people to come in our space and talk this shit. We allow people like this to come into our space and say the stuff that they're saying. That's a problem. That is a problem. And they're getting away with this. And she's just sitting there. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. We having these discussions. You don't see black people going into these white spaces telling white people about their community. When the last time you heard a black person go into a white space and tell them how bad the white community is? They don't want to hear that shit. My brother said, I hope Courtney doesn't get a Chad Wheeler treatment. Wow. This is the truth. Renaissance Man says the fact he was messing with a woman like that shows that he is dysfunctional too. Water seeks its own level. Exactly. Then he says, no, mixed son, you have a black son. But that's what he said. But hold on. You see, this is the issue that black people have to understand. See, we play that colorism mixed bullshit amongst ourselves. Amongst other people, they don't care about mixed. They look at a mixed person as black, and they're going to treat you as such. We're the only people through our history and colorism talk about this fact of someone being mixed race as being mixed and necessarily not being black or so forth. Okay? But they don't care about that. We got to understand, guys, mixed people were enslaved just as well as anybody else that was black. And their asses would work in the fields. Not this myth of thinking all light-skinned people were in the house. No, they were not. Their asses was out in the field too. Just like anybody else. Chaos Rain said that was KK. Yes, I believe that was KK ignorant ass. Now, I'm not going to play anymore. Yeah, that was KK. I really do think that was her. She did come from, she mentioned it later in the video, that she mentioned later in the video that she came from B1. But I just wanted to play a little bit. I don't want, because I'm not going to be on too long. I'm going to probably be on for another 15 minutes. So, but I just wanted to highlight this as far as toxicity, as far as our interaction with allowing other people to come into our spaces and talk shit the way this white man was. And then you got these, this aloof, she's aloof and fucking just unknowledgeable ass woman here just sitting there listening and entertaining this shit. Yes, Faith, that was KK. It sounds just because, matter of fact, I remember KK used to come on your platform talking BS all the goddamn time. And I can remember when KK would have issues with other black men, BMT and others, KK would be all over the place. If BMT would have said something like that to KK, KK would have been all over the place. But that white man, she sat there and listened and said, right, right, right. And I'm looking like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm getting a headache. Commendable K says the pro-black women are popping up with white men. Sounds like all roads lead to the mask coming off and they are Oreos. It's no different than a lot of pro-black men who do the same thing. Who have histories of being with white women. Commendable K says they come into space as avatars and we don't get them. We need to demand people who come on panels cam up and stop letting them run around like cosplayers. Exactly. But this is the shit that's going on. Commendable K said I haven't heard from KK or Didi. Maybe they both are doing Jessica X. Didi is Jessica X. I'm willing to bet the farm. I am willing to bet my mortgage that Jessica X is Diddy. That's how confident that I am that Jessica X is Diddy. We won't hear from Diddy again. You know why? She making too much money as Jessica X. All the money that Diddy is making as Jessica X, you'll never hear from her again. And since that situation that we had on Faith's channel, when she was there and I was there, I hadn't talked to her since. What's up, Michael B? How you doing? Appreciate you for coming in. You know what? I'm gonna play a little bit more of this so you can hear KK and this guy. I'm gonna play just a little bit more.
You want to know? I gotta tell you, it is a reason why we are like that more than any other race of women, and the reason why we are like that than any other race of women, we have a very unique group of men that are resting in their feminine behavior. Black men are not masculine like other men. They ain't built no paper.
Are you fucking? Oh my God! She gonna sit here and tell this white man that black men are not as masculine as other men. I want you to marinate on that. Now, if you wanted to say black men are not as functional as other men, I can deal with that. But to sit here and tell this white man that we are not as masculine as him, that's criminal. But let me continue.
They don't do things. They complain. They promote. They say they don't. They say that they don't. Black women say we're independent, but they make rap music and everything. They say they want independent women. They promote the things they complain about.
Well, to be fair, let's walk this back. Let's do a little history lesson. In the 60s, women kicked the black man out of the home for benefits. No, wait. That is a proven fact that Lyndon B. Johnson stated in order to get welfare benefits in the hood, you had to not have a man in the house. Women made that choice. The second thing of it is, in the 90s, when men were rapping about hoes.
Hold on for a second. I'm talking right now. I'll be over back there in a minute. Go ahead.
In the 90s, when black men were rapping about these bitches ain't shit, a lot of those guys grew up seeing women sucking dick for crack in the 80s.
Wow. Listen to that. This white man here is trying to school a black woman or black people on why we're dysfunctional. This white man sits here and tells this ignorant ass black woman that the fact that black women as a whole left black men for welfare, which is grossly incorrect. That is a fallacy. That is a manosphere talking point that is grossly untrue. Renaissance Man, that was on Mr. Research channel. Check out Mr. Research. And then he uses manosphere talking points. And then he stereotypes black women for doing crack. Listen to this. As if the majority of black women were doing crack and sucking dick. Now you hear the disrespect, but you got this grown-ass female, I'm not going to say woman at this point, sitting here and entertaining a white man dehumanizing you as a sexual object that'll basically do any and everything to survive.
A lot of the men that grew up making rap music were taught by women. They were raised by women. I don't know if you know this, but women call women bitches and hoes.
Right.
They say anything.
I think when Tupac, he said that best. He said that when he was on the interview, he was talking about as well what you just said. He said, well, women know that there's women bitches out here too, and they know there's women hoes out here too.
Now you hear this dumb ass female validating it based on fucking Tupac. Of all people, see. Okay. She's sitting here agreeing with the bullshit that this man is saying about black men and black women. And she's sitting here, quote unquote, B1 Network, pro-black, be first, allowing another, I don't give a damn if it was true or not. It is no way in hell I'm going to sit and have a discussion with another group of people telling me what's fucked up about my group, and you don't say shit that's fucked up about their group. Excuse me. You don't talk about racism. You don't talk about incest. You don't talk about the opioid crisis, which is 5 times worse than the crack era. The opioid epidemic is far worse. You don't talk about the fact that y'all have a negative birth rate for the last 25 years. You don't talk about racism. You don't talk about the teen pregnancy in rural areas. You don't talk about any of those things, but you're going to allow this white man to speak heavily about what's messed up in your community. As if he's at a level where he can look down on you and tell you, look, black woman, this is what you've done. Look, black man, this is what you've done. These are elementary as talking points that have no basis, and it cannot be substantiated by any data, significant data. All he's doing is basing it on conclusions and speculation that has been given to other people. So if they're saying it, therefore I can say it. I can put another guy in the manosphere saying the exact same things, and I'm sorry, not KK, I'm gonna say, what's her name? Courtney Flucker would have responded quite differently. Now let me continue.
So women know there's bitches and hoes out here as well. So I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Look at that. Women know that bitches and hoes, so I'm just gonna agree on that.
Another thing you have to realize is the word bitch. So when people say bitches ain't shit, like for me, when I say that bitch, the reason that I say that bitch is because I don't know that woman. I don't know who she is. That is a general term of that bitch, like that woman that I don't know who she is.
So basically, he refers to women, just as he's talked about the black men in the hip hop community in the 90s, stating that black women ain't shit, they bitches and hoes. He also, as well, yields to that same perspective that if I don't know you, any black woman walking up to you, that bitch. And he's telling another woman, another black woman, just straight up telling her, you basically a bitch. And I think nothing of that. You're not a woman. You're not anything of any esteem. I am basically dehumanizing you and relegating you to just being just another bitch that come around. This is what she's saying.
I can't say, oh, you know, that lovely female. Like, I don't know the person, so it's a general statement. Just like when you say the N-word with the A, you're talking in general.
Now see, that's it. You hear this again? The N-word with the A. Now let me tell you something. See, this is another thing that white people get. There's no fucking difference. If you say nigger or nigger, it all means the same. I'm gonna say this. If a white person said nigger or nigger, you gonna know damn well. Do that mean because I'm using ER that I'm talking about another group of people? If they're using the term nigger or they pronouncing it nigger or nigger, you know they talking about us. So what difference does it make whether or not if you pronouncing it with ER or with an A? You know damn well who they are referring to. And they're not referring to themselves, and they're not referring to people of another group. So I'm tired of people, white supremacists like this man, playing this game. And I'm sick and tired of black people who allow other people to culturally appropriate to do these things. Let me continue.
When you specifically say something to a person like, this woman is then that woman is acting like or being a bitch. So a lot of the problem that has these days is, well, one, women don't have to take responsibility or accountability as much as men do, for one. I agree.
She agreeing with every goddamn thing this man's saying. He basically saying women don't have to take accountability as other people. What the hell are you talking about? Women take just as much accountability for the things that they do just as much as men do. There's no difference. There is no difference.
It's down to black men and white men. One of the things, like, I know there's a lot of black men in that channel that don't like me. I agree. Black men in the manosphere talk mad shit about white dudes. I know, I see it. I've been part of that shit talk train. But regardless of how they feel, that is propaganda and bullshit that the black community has been regurgitating on each other, and it is what.
Wow. Now he's saying the manosphere. Be honest with you, I don't know what manosphere sect that he been listening to, because the manosphere don't really talk about white men like that. Not that much, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, they actually validate a lot of white supremacist talking points. The only sect of the manosphere that may talk ill of white people is probably Ilmore or the BGS sector. Those guys, because they're a little bit more pro-black. That's it. So I don't know what the hell. But then again, he's still alluding to the fact of they don't like me because I'm talking about and identifying things of the black community. Number one, why do you care? What vested interest do you have outside of you abusing that black woman and basically negatively affecting your daughter to think how her father condones himself?
I really think at this point, because I've been noticing this, and they have this thing when they say black women are more submissive with other races of men per se. And I have seen this for myself in my own personal.
But goddamn, you doing that right now. She got the audacity. She has the audacity to say black women are more submissive to men of other races, and she agree. And you're evident of you're doing that right now, Courtney. You're sitting there listening and agreeing and validating everything that this white man is saying. But if a black man said these things, your ass will be yelling and hollering and cursing him out. So that's indicative of something wrong with you, Courtney. I'm not going to say all black women are more submissive to other men of other races, because I don't believe that. I think that black women are more submissive to black men that they want to be with than any other group of people. Black women may tend to be less submissive to black men they don't really want to date. That's my assessment of that.
Big experience. Black women are. They just it's a different energy for me. They are the black women that I know that
A different. Listen to this coon. Do I have to call her Courtney Coon? A different. What energy are they giving you? A different energy? Are you kidding me? Wow.
date interracially and that are very successful. They have a high percentage of the highest rate of success with any interracial thing is black women with white men. Okay.
That is a goddamn lie. Now she lying. Now she just straight up lying. First of all, that is not the best of any interracial. Because number one, there's very few. That's the lowest demographic or couple as far as couple demographic. Now it has increased a little bit over the last 2 to 3 years, but of any group of people, you're gonna rarely see a white man marrying a black woman, and those rates are not significantly higher than anybody else's. And as more black women marry more white men, the divorce rates are going to increase as the marriages increase. Appreciate that, Kai, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. I mean, not super chat, but I appreciate the cash out. Appreciate that, Kai. That's facts. But she's sitting here telling this man as if I'm starting to think, Faith, that basically Courtney was low-key swirling the whole time. This don't sound like a woman that values black men or want to be with a black man. This sounds like a woman that hates herself, hates black people, and want to be white. This sounds like a woman who, quote unquote, B1 network, want to be around black people to talk negative about black people. This is ridiculous.
Black men, they kind of tend to not get along.
Do you have the numbers for that, Courtney? Do you have the numbers for that?
No, she don't.
See it for yourself and just research it. I don't have the numbers right now, but you can.
You don't have the numbers because they don't exist.
See it for yourself and research it. Black men don't get along with anybody.
What? Did she say that and say black men don't get along with anybody? You see, this is the biggest problem as far as toxic behavior in the manosphere, is the fact that people get here and say these majorative statements. You say these gender-leaning statements that are just not true, and then you have no reference to base it on. Just people just talking shit. This is toxic.
Where did you get it from?
Well, this is what I'm saying. You can look around. When you go around, go look at the UK, go look around the world, go look at all these white women, all these single biracial kids, and no black man in sight. You don't have to have statistics. You can go out and look at it for yourself.
I lived in the UK for 4 years.
Well, they say it's an increase of a lot of that going on in there. It's a lot of when you see the let me say, when you go into the orphanages, or not orphans, whatever you call it, that they give their kids up for adoption. A lot of their biracial kids up for adoption by black people.
The reason why, and see, this is how stupid, because I work foster care. I've been doing foster care services for almost 10 years. The reason why these white women put those mixed kids up for adoption is because their white families will actually disown them, disown the mother if she keeps the child. By family pressure, they didn't want them dating a black man or having sex with them in the first place. Therefore, they give them a choice. Either you abort this child or give them up for adoption, or we cutting you off. And be honest with you, many of these white women don't want to love these children. They give it up. They give these children up because they're going to be disowned by their family. This is not totally on black men. This is on women who had no business dating out that race in the first place.
That they leave these women, single mothers, everywhere they go.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's true.
Look at that. It's not true.
I just told you I lived in London for 4 years.
Okay, well,
college out there.
Okay, well, it's around the world. They say the same thing. It's not just in London. That's for no. For you said specifically in the UK and all of that. That they give up the kids for adoption in the biracial kids for adoption in orphanages. That is not true. Those biracial kids stay with their single mothers in council flats, which is your equivalent to a project building and stuff, and collect welfare. Okay, did you hear what you said? Most times they kick the guy out. Single mother. But is it kind of funny that somebody always kicking y'all out somewhere? Ain't that kind of weird? Listen,
just see how dumb and stupid they kicking you out. They're not kicking the black man out. That's public policy that's kicking them out. That's public policy. And also the fact that these black men who are making these children are not offering marriage, nor are they in a position where they can take care of a family. That's partially public policy and lazy, trifling ass black men that don't want to take care of their families. And it's not about they just kicking you out. That's public policy. You see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Imagine, you see, this is why, and this is stuff that I deal with all the time. I've been studying this stuff with black families. Look, even I'm in mental health. You all know that. But in the fact that I work in these government agencies, I've worked for several government. I've worked for the Department of Family Protective Services, which is CPS. I've worked with APS, which is Adult Protective Services. I've worked with the Disabilities and Assistive Department Services. I've worked with probably 6. I've worked with the Department of Justice. Certain levels, I got contracts with different government departments. Probation, parole. All of the ills of our community, I have firsthand dealt with it. I've dealt with people of every race, every culture. Houston is an international city. Ain't shit nobody in YouTube can tell me about my community. There's not shit that nobody can tell me about the dysfunction as it relates to measurable statistics and observable facts that you may see by sheer experience. Nobody can tell me anything about it. And very few people, if any, could probably out-debate me on it, on a real debate. Because you're relying on data which you don't understand that data is specifically meant to measure a certain variable. Data is not meant to tell you that something that because of the occurrence of one outcome, that means that makes up the whole community. So when people say stuff like black men, they just seem to get kicked out everywhere. No, they not. That's something called public policy that mandates that you can't be there. And if you were in a financial position to take care of that woman and that child, offer marriage, women are going, for the most part, are going to take marriage over the goddamn welfare. And number one, welfare is still in poverty. So that means if that woman chose the man over and just to get a few $100s worth of TANF and food stamps, she still chose poverty. That means that this man that she was with was not worth being with in the first place if he couldn't take her out of poverty. Black women are smarter than that. They're not stupid. But guys, I got to get out of here, man. The live was great. I have an appointment. I'm actually Just kind of sitting there, took a break. I actually went over a little bit. And I'm actually getting ready right now as we speak. I'm getting ready to go to a foster care home right now in the community dealing with real shit. Okay? And be honest with you. And so appreciate you all for being here. Appreciate the Cash App by Kai and so forth. I'm just trying to drop this knowledge because I'm tired of playing around with people saying all of this stuff, putting out all this toxicity. I'm getting ready now to start playing stuff and reviewing and giving you my take on it. That's where I'm getting. That is the path that I'm getting ready to go with my channel. Instead of me just throwing stuff out, I'm gonna let you hear the false and I'm gonna correct it and tell you what things are really supposed to be like and what's the truth. Okay, so guys, gotta go. D-Darrell, getting ready to get back to work, guys. D-Darrell the Rebirth, D-Darrell Life Solutions. Have a great day.